Here we go, further attempting to get some unfinished projects finished. This is a little table that my grandfather made. And the only reason it's something that I want to repair and keep is because it's something my grandfather made. My grandfather was an excellent carpenter, but this looks like something that was slapped together out of bits and pieces quickly, probably to fill a particular need. Perhaps my grandmother was like, I need a little side table for next to the sofa or something, and he threw this together. I believe these legs, my grandfather was really good on a lathe. Like this is a little cup that he made out of a stick, and you can just see that, he made this just on a whim for shits and giggles. And he cut this ring out, which that's really hard to do without blowing it apart, especially on what I'm pretty sure is just a pine stick. Without it, it's impressive, and it just looks cool. Anyway, these legs, the fluting on them, it looks machine done. They're too regular. All of the turning is exactly the same. So I think he may have salvaged these legs and the trim and just put them onto a piece of plywood. He may have built this to be a temporary thing. But anyway, the problem is that the legs are just toe-nailed with finish nails into the top. And over the years, they have come loose many times. They've been re-glued and re-nailed. So now I want to do something to make them much more secure. And I have my lovely assistant, Anya, helping me out. Okay, sweetie, I'm going to flip this over, so stay out of the way. There you go. Yeah, and you can see this leg is super loose right now. So what I'm going to do is I've got these old pieces of pine. I think using an old piece like this, it'll be easiest to get it to match the color of this old pine. I believe these are all pine. Got a timer going off for when I'm cooking. Better go check that. So I'm thinking of building structure between the legs and then putting a 45. But first, I've got to get all of these old wedges removed, any glue cleaned up. I need to get this leg completely off and see what the deal is, because it's not fitting down right anymore. So I'm going to start doing that and see what I run into. All right, honey. I got to go check what I'm cooking before it burns. Here we are, more with the continued attempts to get caught up on projects. I honestly forget where I left off, but I have removed the leg that was loose. It was much harder to remove than I thought it would be. Come on up here, honey. If you want to be in the video, then you got to get in the video. There we go. Okay, so removing this was, it came off fairly easy, but there were so many little nails, and the littlest, tiniest nails I've ever seen in my life. I hand, like hammered nails. I've never seen any that small. These were just the thinnest gauge wire brads I've ever seen that were obviously, they had a head on them. They were obviously put in with a hammer, and I can't imagine doing that. But anyway, and there were bigger nails and glue and so much glue. So I've got all of that off, and now it sits flat, and I've taken a bunch of pine. Gosh, this just looks standard pine, but this is older stuff that was salvaged, and cut it down and cleaned it up as best as possible, and I'm making pieces that fit in this manner. I may need to trim it. No, it fits. It fits just fine. It's snug, which I like. Anyway, and I'm going to make 45s and just try to build this like you would a regular table, where there's more than just the very top surface and a little piece of molding holding the legs on. There's so much glue that's been done to repairs. I would like to remove the other 3 legs, but I don't want to put that much time into it right now. And I think this will be more than adequate to keep these legs sturdy for the rest of my life. What do you think, Anya? You think that's a good idea? And I have my wonderful little helper, Anya. Oh, such nice purrs. So I'm going to get started on cutting the 45s for this to fill in those corners. I think I'll take an Anya break first. Mwah! This is the last corner brace that I'm putting in, and I want it to fit perfectly so that it touches this edge of the leg. And I've got just a bit of a gap. And just about 28 thousandths. I'm sure there's a mathematical formula that would tell me exactly how much to cut off of this angle to get this to fit perfectly, but that requires math, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stick this in the miter box and trim a little bit off, and come back and test it and see if it fits, and then trim a little bit more or whatever I need to do. And I've got extra material, so if I cut off too much, all I have to do is make a new one. So let's get cutting. I'm going to cut it to fit perfectly, and then I'm going to drill a hole for a screw here, a screw here, put that in place, and then drill a hole for a longer screw to go into the leg, so that there's just extra support and these legs will be rock solid from now on. So, last corner brace going in. It's fitting perfectly now, no gap here, so now it's time to drill some holes. here is the table. It is out of my work area. I am liking the way it looks. I am liking how sturdy it is. Something I would never dream of doing before. I can actually sit on the thing. The reinforcements that I built on the bottom are just, everything is rock solid now. The addition of that bracing doesn't really change the look of the table very much. I put many coats of polyurethane on the top of it. So this thing is ready to be used for many more years. Don't shake the tripod, Malcolm. Come here, buddy. Malcolm. Let's see if I can get Malcolm to come up and say hi. Come on, Malcolm. Come on. Come on. Get the mouse. Get the mouse. Get the mouse. Come on. Get the mouse. Come on. Get the mouse. Imagine that, a cat not cooperating. Just get on the table. There you go. So anyway, liking the way this table looks. What do you think, Malcolm? Do you like the table? I like it. Show everybody your cute face. Okay. But yeah, one more thing out of the way. Ready for use. Ready for cats to climb on it. Yay!